Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome to issue 79 and also issue 80 of Build the Terminator.
The Terminator, week by week, built the T-800, the killing machine that defined a generation. Easy to build with high-quality metal components. You can control sound, lights, articulated limbs, and LED eyes, and explore the Terminator universe. Build the Terminator, issue 1, just $1.99.
So welcome back everyone, I'm finally back and it has been quite a while in fact. Mainly because 3 weeks ago I had my first baby, a little boy called Percy, so obviously I've been very busy with him, getting used to being a father, and obviously now, as we know, we've gone into second lockdown in the UK as of Wednesday this week, well Thursday sorry, and now I'm not working again unfortunately like some other people, but that's given me more time to spend with my son and my partner, and also to crack on with the build again. So as I mentioned, today I'm doing 79 and 80, and what we're doing essentially is we're working on the middle finger and arm, so some components there which again I'll show you before we start, and also issue 80 working on the forearm, so you've got the muscle springs just there. We've done that before on the other arm obviously, so not too much to do. The next 4 issues, so 79 to 82, we are essentially just building more fingers, attach that to the hand, more forearm accessories, and obviously then I've now received a new order 2 days ago which is up to 86, and that finishes off all of the left arms. The left arm will be fused to the shoulder, everything will be connected, lower arm, hand, etc, etc, and then that's the left side done, as well as the right for the arms. And then I've seen that there's new parts coming in for the hip, so obviously we're going to be working on the next leg after that, so that's really exciting. So let's get started. Okay, so as always, just going to quickly run through the parts. So starting from issue 79, so we have quite a lot of components here, as you can see, little accessories. I'm not going to bore you too much on them because obviously we know what the majority of them are. These are obviously the finger parts of the finger, so that's going to be the second finger for the left hand. Then also we've got an Allen key which you'll need for today. We've obviously got the connector pins here. The screws we have, so the large ones here, they are the PM 3x10mm screws, and the smaller ones are the, bear with me, PM 2x10mm. You've also got a couple of socket liners, some other pins, and various other little accessories. Washers also, metal one, which is here, and this one also, and some plastic ones there. So, you know, quite self-explanatory, we've gone through those before. You also need the left arm accessories from the previous issue, so issue 78, so these are needed today. We'll be using those to connect more parts up. Then moving over to issue 80, so we've got obviously, like I mentioned, you've got the springs here. These are the muscular springs, they're for the forearm, so you've got 4 of those. Then you've also got the shaft, this is plastic. Then you've got a couple more components here, so you've got, first of all you've got the hand, obviously we need that so we can connect the second finger to that today, and just these 2 little accessories here. So most of it is plastic, may I add, but obviously the whole arm in general is a mixture of plastic and metal. So all you need as well is some glue, a cocktail stick, and two screwdrivers, and then you're good to go. Okay, so steps 1 to 5 issue 79, that's going to be working on the second finger. So I've got the components here laid out. So the smallest part there is, that's the end part, that's 79.1, and it goes all the way up to 79.5. So you start off with 79.5, and what you're going to do, you're going to take one of the little finger connectors, so that's these little pins here, and then just make sure that obviously you follow it as it does in the book. So I'm just going to double check I've got that, because that's going to connect with 79.4, which is the longest one of the finger connectors. So what you do, you thread that under, just double checking I've got that right for how it's aligned. Thread that under, and then you can put one pin from underneath, and then you also want to take one of the larger pins, or the larger connectors, with one of the plastic tubes. So this, you thread that through, and that's going to go under. So these can be quite tricky. I've notoriously had problems with these, so bear with me. Well, I personally hate these fingers. The toes were much easier to do. Okay, once you've pushed that plastic tube through, you thread it from underneath, and then you're going to take, like I said, the smaller connector and just put a tiny bit of super glue on the end of the pin, just so that stays into place for the first part of that finger. So I'm just going to put that through now and hold that down for a second, and we will literally repeat this process the same, going up and under along the finger chain. So I'm just going to hold that. Okay, I haven't filmed the entire process because, as I said, it's quite simple. You just go over and under along the chain until you get to the very end, and then that's where you put the last little peg on the end of the finger, like so, and that's the finger complete. So nice and simple. If you want to watch more of me actually doing it step by step, you can check my other videos where I do the other fingers, and there's many of them. Okay, so next up we're working on the steps for steps 6 to 12, and this is where you're going to be taking the components from issue 78 and working on those to connect them up. So first of all, this component here will be needed, and what we're going to do, there's the little metal sleeves, this tiny little metal sleeve. What you're going to do, you're going to thread that through this hole here, just at the top. Just put that into place and keep that there. And then what you're going to do, you're going to take the arm, so the left arm here, this part. You are going to take this section here, so this is the bar. So you're going to pull that out. Like so. And then what you want to do, you'll see that there's two little holes on either side. One is bigger than the other. And just obviously pay attention to that, because what you can do, you can actually thread that through this part here, like so, and then obviously take one of the screws and screw it in. So I'm just going to do that now. So you will need the PM 2x10mm screw, which is the smaller one, and you're just going to thread that through so it goes through the sheath and the other holes. This bit might be a little bit tricky, so bear with me. Now once that's in there, you can just screw it in to secure. Just double check with the other screwdriver, a bit tighter. Okay, that's how that should look at the moment. See, that's now connected there. Now we're going to flip it over, and at this stage what you need those little plastic center parts, that's these parts here, and you're going to glue them to either side of this component so you can see where the peg holes are. So all we need to do is put a little bit of super glue on those, just so it's obviously going to stay in position, and then just put them on there. So nice and simple, this part. Okay, so once that's done, that's how it's going to look either side. What you now need to do is actually take obviously the arm assembly from the previous issue, and these parts here, obviously the muscles, you're going to thread these corresponding parts into that. So that's the shafts. Just obviously make sure that that is all aligned, because you need to thread another pin through there. So that's how it should look. So that's now, as you can see, that's all fused. So at this point we're going to take, so step 12, we're going to take 79.9 and obviously we're going to thread that through this hole here at the top. Once you've done that, spin it around, and then what you're going to do, you're going to take this part here, so that's another plastic connector, and then once you've flipped it over for step 13, you want to take the PM3 x 10mm screw, so that's the much bigger one, and also fit a washer over that. And what you're going to do, you're going to thread that through the hole, and you're going to use your Allen key to tighten that to the screw at the bottom. So just tighten that now. And just make sure you don't over tighten, because the lower part of the elbow joint needs to be able to turn. Okay, and once you've done that, for the final step, you're just going to take 7910, so that's that little plastic cap there. That's just there to really cover up the connection there, so it's for aesthetic reasons. So it's nothing major. Just going to put a little bit of super glue on those pins, obviously, so it stays in place, and then pop it over. Obviously making sure it goes in the holes. There's 2 holes at the bottom, so you'll know it they're in because it's clicked, so you would have heard that click there. And there we have it. That's issue 79 complete. We've now added more components to the upper left arm, and we've also made the second finger. Okay, so issue 80, steps 1 to 7. We are working on parts of the forearm now. So what you want to do, step 1, you're going to take the forearm plate, which is 83, this little plastic part here, and you'll see there are 4 lines, like ridges on there, and that's where these springs are going to go. That's the forearm muscles. So what you do is you need glue, obviously, because you're going to be super gluing these down onto those lines. And be very careful, because speaking from my last experience on the other arm, I messed one of them up, so I had to cut it, and obviously you can't see it so much on the hand, but it's not how it should be for the right arm. So I want to make sure this time round that I have a bit more finesse, and I get it right. So all you do is you put the super glue along there, so I'm doing all of them at the same time, and then put one down at a time. So obviously there being 4 in total, so I just get the glue on there and thread that through. Okay, so once you've done it, that's how it's going to be looking. So you can just see like that. So what we do now, we're going to take the forearm shaft. So this part here is going to actually enclose all of that. You'll see there's a hole there. You're going to push that over, and then from that will secure that through that side. And you can take one of the little KB screws, so it's the 2 x 4mm, so it's the very small one, and then just going to thread that through to secure it. So hopefully this won't be too fiddly. Perfect, so that's clicked there, so that's secure. I'm just going to double check with my other screwdriver, because you can never be too sure. Okay, and that's how that is looking at that stage. So now for step 7, you're going to take the component 82, and what you'll see on the forearm part at the end is a little notch there, or the rim, sorry, and that's going to align with this part here. So this line here must align with this line. So if I thread that on there, you can see that they're both in line. So once you've done that, you need to take one of the screws. So we want the PM 3x12mm, that's the long one, and you're just going to secure those two together. So there's a screw hole at the top of where you threaded that through to secure them. And obviously you're going to do that from the top, not the... So once you have those two aligned like so, you're just going to screw from the top to connect those two, and that'll be the final section for that part of the forearm. So there you go, that's how it's looking in its complete form. So now we can finish up for steps 10 to 12, and that's obviously connecting the second finger to the left hand. So obviously we worked on that in the last issue. So we're going to put it next to the finger that's already there. So as you remember, with this part here, we thread that over the top, sorry, or it can be under. It depends how you want to do it really. I'm gonna do it from beneath. And what I'll need here, so remember we have the plastic sheath and obviously the tube and the pins and the connectors. So all you're going to do is you're going to pop those through to secure it. So I'm just going to do that now. So I've got the second finger on there now, as you can see. So I'm just going to go from underneath and I'm going to put the little connector pin through the bottom. So I just need to put a bit of super glue on that, and then I'll secure those two together. Okay, so after some faffing around, finally got it connected, and that's the finished product. So that's the issue complete. So that's it, issue 79 and 80 complete, and it was a bit more tricky than I thought. I do really hate these fingers, to be honest. They're never quite right, but I don't really care. I'm not really going to play with the Terminator when he's done. But obviously, as you can see, there's two fingers there, and obviously the forearm is done there. So next issues 81, 82, we're working on another finger, two I believe, and also more of the forearm, obviously connecting that to the upper arm. So not much more to do, but we're getting closer to finishing the left arm now. So hope you liked today's video, guys. If you did, remember as always to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you soon.